Education loan and house loan, I am okay because you are building assets. Education loan obviously is your skill set, your intangible assets you are building up, and house loan again, house is your asset, right? So house is also okay for me. So if you do not have any loans, then I would say that at least save 30% of your take home, 25 to 30% of your take home salary, of your in-hand salary every month. If you have loans, these two loans, education loan or house loan, I consider these as an investment only, not like an expense. So अगर तुम्हारा 15% in loans की तरफ EMIs पे जा रहा है, तो it's okay to save just 15%, because as I said, if you are investing, it is like for building future assets. By taking an education loan or a house loan, you have already taken that asset. Now you're just paying for it. It's a prepaid versus postpaid kind of a thing. So 30% is my case for, kind of how much should I invest. 30% of your take home salary. 6.3% ka ke hisab se you are paying off. Even if you have some investment opportunity at 7% or 8%, you will rather, kind of put money over there in 7-8% and keep on paying this education loan for a net tax, kind of an interest of 6.3%. So if you want to be that methodical with no pressure on your head, I think you should continue investing and then paying your EMIs. But if you have money and you think that it's a headache on my, kind of burden on my shoulders, prepay. And not only education loan, same goes for house loan also. I hope you understood this part. House loan also has tax benefits. Hence, this concept will apply on both the kind of loans. But I say you should not buy a house for investment purpose. Waste in India. Hardly you get any rental yields. Hardly there is an appreciation in the house. But if you are wanting to live in that, then it's for consumption purpose. In that way, what happens is the emotional part comes into picture. That यार घर में रहने के लिए ले रहे हो तो अपना घर होना चाहिए, and all these kind of things happen. So if that's the concept, if that's the idea, objective, then probably go for buying a house. Renting a house obviously is obviously you buy a house when you know that you can pay an EMI, right? So EMI also should not be more than, as I said, 30 to 40% of your take home it should not be more than that, because ultimately you have to cater to your 50% into your expenses, the basic necessities and all. So you need to consider all these parts. And once that is done, I would just say that out of these two kinds, the money back kind of a thing, which is called endowment policy, and the term policy, go for term policy, because mathematically endowment policy makes no sense. So for example, for a person, X person, 1 lakh rupees premium will be charged per month for the endowment policy, which will say कि मैं इतना पैसा बाद में दूंगा. But वही same premium के लिए, only for not giving money at the end, just for that sum assured, you might be paying just 25,000 premium. तो बचे 75,000 को कहीं और invest कर दो ना. Even in a very basic FD, you will make more returns. Understanding your goals and risk profile. Now, what is goals? Your short-term goals, mid-term goals, long-term goals. You need to aware about. You need to categorize them, think about it, and then accordingly devise strategies as to how to cater to those goals. And then risk profile. Now everybody is not like they can invest into equities or they can invest into cryptocurrency. So there are two concepts: risk taking ability and risk taking willingness. These are two different concepts, and by looking at it, it might not be that intuitive, but let me explain to you in later slides. So working towards achieving those goals with consideration of your risk profile, the amalgamation or the confluence of these, kind of these two things, goals and risk profile, is your personal finance. It just helps as a back of the envelope calculation. How to go about emergency corpus? Okay, so emergency corpus is basically very important. And again, people understood about this importance in 2020 when people started losing jobs. There were many companies which, kind of slashed salaries or fired people. And then they were like, COVID meant nobody was giving them jobs. So how to survive? So I always say that maintain at least 6 months of your expenses in some kind of a fund, which you know that it will not go down. So even a savings bank or an FD over here will be 6 months FD is okay over here. Or some short-term liquid funds. Now, 6 months of the expenses, I said. When I'm saying expenses, that means that 50% of your salary, which I was talking about, should go into basic needs, basic necessities like food, clothing, and all these things. Uska 50, kind of that portions ka 6 months. 6 months generally, because eventually it might be that, kind of you might take 6 months to find another job. That job might not be lost only because of your bad luck or something, but obviously like 2020 when COVID came, and even if you are highly talented enough, you might have found difficult to get another job. In that way, at least 6 months is what I would suggest.